Hey, I'm
Hi.
I'm Chris. This is Darren. This is Disney fan art with Chris. And let's start with Darren. How was your day today?
It was good. I've been tired all day because I've been lazy, not doing anything.
Been lazy?
Got up at 5 this morning and went to and drank some coffee, then went to the gym and wasn't fully awake yet, so I went back to sleep for a little bit, and then I freaking laid down, took another daggone nap.
Yeah. I wish I could have laid down and took a nap today.
Yeah, I hate this being laid off stuff. It's about to kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been off for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, since the 1st of March.
Oh, wow.
So I can't wait to get back to Indiana so I can start back over at Whirlpool
Yeah.
and get something done. And we've been trying to get houses, but a lot of people can't rent out houses yet. Well, they can rent them out if they're empty.
Right.
Well, some of these landowners, homeowners, they have houses that needs to be evicted, but they can't do it because of all the laws right now because of the pandemic.
Right.
And I talked to one lady, and she said that these one people needed to go 2 months ago.
Right. Hey, Jaden. Hey, Christina. Yeah. Yeah, it was hot today. Like I was telling you backstage, I went through 3 masks. So yeah, it was. So they don't have the fans up very high, and they got us like stuck in between plastic partitions, so there's no air getting in. So yeah.
It's been warm here the last couple of days. Today got up about 90 almost. And
yeah, it was. I don't know what it was. I know it was 70 this morning when we was going to work. So
I think tomorrow's supposed to be 91, Friday 97, and 101 on Saturday here.
Oh wow.
According to the news.
But so our topic for today is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I'm afraid we may have scared people away with the topic. So what I want to say this is, if we come up with a topic to do, you don't have to go with that topic. If you have any Disney art, you can send it in anytime. You do not have to go with us. But if you want to go with us, it's even better. But it'd be because what we'll do is we'll probably show what our topic is, and then whatever came in, that wasn't part of the topic afterwards. But like I said, we don't care. I think this is one of the best things to do. We did Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think we should maybe pick like different movies for each week. You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be really cool. So, but I was waiting to see if anybody else would come in.
And there is such a wide variety when it comes to stuff that's Disney or Disney owned, because they have the rights to a lot of things, and
they do. Yes,
I know a lot of cartoons, but I didn't realize so many of them was actually Disney or Disney had the rights to them.
Well, when Disney acquired Fox, they actually gained another animation studio.
I can see that.
Yeah, Blue Sky Animation.
Is that who does The Simpsons? The Blue Sky.
Disney owns The Simpsons, but no. Blue Sky was the ones who did Ice Age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Ice Age is on Disney Plus now. So
that's a pretty cool movie. I've watched it a couple times.
Yeah. But yeah, I think my favorite character on there is Sid the Sloth.
Yeah. So, my little nephew, he's only 5, and sloths are his favorite.
Oh, yeah.
How they became his favorite, it's beyond us, but he loves sloths.
Heaven's one of her sorority sisters loves sloths, and I think Heaven made something for her, or no, she actually got to see a real sloth, and they said it just brought tears to her eyes. If I'm right, I might be wrong, but
where are those actually at in the world? Like in real life, are they like in a safari kind of animal? Or are they like in China, like in the jungle?
I think they're in South America.
Okay.
If I'm right. I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
I just know yesterday we were playing that game on Gonzo's channel that,
Color Brain.
yeah, when it was that sloth question, I was just thinking back to the backpack that I bought my nephew that looked like a sloth. So that's how I was guessing the colors off of him.
Have you never seen Zootopia?
No, I have not.
Oh, Darren, Zootopia is a great. It's Heaven's favorite Disney movie. She loves Zootopia.
Well, I can understand that, her growing up in a zoo.
But yeah, it's like there's like a it's about Judy Hopps is what it is, and she lives on a carrot farm with her parents, and she wants to grow up to be a policeman in Zootopia, and they tell her because she's not she's not a predator. Most predators are police officers, but you know, she kind of proves them wrong. It's really neat.
In current events throughout the United States, that's probably the case in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I don't know if you've seen that on the news.
No, I haven't. What was that?
Then 4 police officers killed that man, and they got fired, and there's a big riot that broke out last night.
All right. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. I got to do something real quick.
Okay.
Oops, not that. All right. You can still hear me, but I can't hear you. So just give me a second, Darren, if you got something you can talk about or anything like that. Oh, crap. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Just be right back. He can still hear me. So also a little fact out there that Walt Disney and his wife Lillian was actually from here in Idaho, in Spalding. That's up north, close to Washington state line. And they were married in a town in Lewiston, Idaho in 1925. And her uncle was actually the fire chief of Lewiston at the time. And between her and Walt, they'd had 2 children, Diane and Sharon. Sharon was adopted.
Right.
10 grandchildren, 7 belonged to Diane and 3 by Sharon. I just found that kind of interesting today.
I think Diane married a football player.
His name was Ron Miller.
Yes, and he actually was CEO at one time of Walt Disney. Yeah.
And their adopted daughter, Sharon, she had 2 different husbands in her life at one point.
You don't hear very much about her. I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But
so back then, you know, because Sharon was born in 1936. She was the later of the 2.
Right.
But she was adopted. So back then, orphanages were a big thing back in that time era. So I wonder if they adopted her from an orphanage or how that even came about.
You know, it's quite possible. I mean, you know, of course, I was adopted, and you know, my mom and dad, they went to the welfare office there in Winchester.
Yeah.
And but
I just found that really cool that they actually were married here in Idaho and his wife's from here. But
that is cool.
To say this, your background is about to kill me, Chris.
Why?
Well, I know this is a family-friendly show, but where Roger Rabbit's finger is,
it's on my shoulder. Oh,
no.
I don't think it's meant to be that way.
Oh, Lord, I'm sorry.
All right, so let's get into our pictures. We only have the 3, mine, yours, and Christina's. So I'll go ahead and pull it up. Let's see, right here. Oh. All right, so I'm going to take it. It's up, right?
Yeah, it's up there.
All right, so this is my drawing. Actually, I wasn't going to show this one first, but I forgot to send it back, so we'll have to go backwards. So, so this is Judge Doom, and I think they call him the Tomb Patrol, and they're the Weasels.
Yep.
And I did find out the Weasels all have names.
Yes.
Yes. This one here is Smartass. I'm not kidding. This one here is Wheezy. This one here is Stupid. This one here is Greasy. And this one here is Psycho.
That's crazy because Christina and I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit again. I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Right.
After we got this assignment, and we looked at each other and like, Disney would not make a movie like this nowadays.
It wasn't put under Disney. It wasn't put under Disney. It was put underneath a film company or Touchstone's Pictures that was owned by Disney.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, though they had all those characters from Warner Brothers. They had Woody Woodpecker. They had Popeye, and of course all the Disney characters was in it as well.
Yeah. Yep. They had a lot from different companies as well.
Oh yeah. So, and I do know, like I think I told you this before, Warner Brothers, the only way they would let them use Bugs Bunny was Bugs had to have the same number of lines that Mickey Mouse did. So,
I was reading a thing yesterday, actually, like 15 hidden things inside the movie. They weren't really all appropriate to share on this channel, or else I would have. But one of them is Bugs Bunny actually flips Mickey Mouse off in the movie, and you can see it. Like it shows the part where it's at when they're coming down in the sky. He's actually giving him a finger twice.
Are you serious?
Yep.
I started watching that the other night, and Margie's like, "Didn't we just watch this the other day?" So I took it that she wanted to watch something else, so I turned it off and came up here. So
yeah.
All right. So let's get to our next one, and I'm pretty sure the next one is yours, Darren. Yep.
Yeah, Baby Herman.
Baby Herman. Looks really good. Did you use color pencils?
Yes, I didn't have like a flesh color, so I had to try the best to mix a couple colors together to get that skin tone.
Right.
And I was having a little bit of issues with it.
I think it looks awesome. I really think it looks.
Yeah, it turned out well.
Yeah.
Except for his leg, so it kind of looks short, his right leg. But I said, no, that's just he's like he's gonna fall over. He's losing his balance. But I should have drew it bigger. I should have moved it over into the center of my paper more.
Right.
But I still think it looks fine.
Yeah, I think the legs look fine. I really do. I don't see anything wrong with them.
And I never caught the credits, but who did his voice in that movie? Because his voice sounds so familiar to some movies that I've seen.
I don't know. I know the guy who did the voice for Roger Rabbit and the only place I know him from, and I think he was in, and this is going to be for older people, not for younger people. I think he showed up sometimes in Happy Days, and I think he also showed up in Laverne and Shirley a few times.
But I just know that Italian voice is like really strong in it.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I'm thinking that I've heard that voice in other movies somewhere.
Are you talking about
Baby Herman?
Baby Herman, yeah. And I also believe the guy that did Roger's voice, I think he might have been in MASH as well for like an episode or two.
So here's a little fun fact, and it's actually in my list today for at the end in the top 15. This would be number 3. I'll just go ahead and read it.
Okay.
Since we were talking about it, Bob Hoskins was not the first pick for Eddie Valiant.
Really?
Yeah. Director Robert, help me with his last name, Chris.
Starts with a Z, doesn't it?
Yeah, Zemeckis or Zemeckis, however you pronounce. Yes.
Zemeckis, yes.
And producer Steven Spielberg communicated with a number of big-name actors in regard to casting of human protagonists, Detective Eddie Valiant. Among those considered for The Private Eye were Harrison Ford.
Oh, wow.
Who was too expensive, it says.
Oh, yeah.
Chevy Chase. He was not interested in the part. And Bill Murray, who allegedly never got the message and was dismayed to learn he had missed such an opportunity.
Oh, wow.
Other names that were tossed around for the part included Robert Redford, Jack Nicholson, Sylvester Stallone, Wallace Shawn, Ed Harris, and Charles Grodin.
Right. I don't think it would have been it wouldn't been the same with one of those guys. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
Now, the movie's based on a book, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Who censored Roger Rabbit?
Yes. That's how they got the idea for the film.
Right. So, okay, let's go to the next one. And the next one is going to be Christina's. And Christina drew Betty Boop. And this is the scene where Eddie Valiant, Valiant, right?
Yes.
Goes into the bar, and that's where Acme's at.
Yep.
And Donald and Daffy are playing a dueling piano scene.
Yep, right before Jessica Rabbit comes on stage.
Right before Jessica Rabbit comes on stage, yeah. And yeah, Betty Boop bumps into Eddie, and he's like, "What are you doing here, Betty?" And she says, "It's kind of hard for a cartoon that's not in color."
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like it. I mean, it's Betty Boop. There's no doubt about that. I really like that. I like she's got with the cigarettes and everything on here, because she was selling cigarettes and stuff like that while she was in the movie. But of course, I think Roger is based almost in like old Hollywood too, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had also read too that the voice actor for Betty Boop in Roger Rabbit was actually the original Betty Boop woman herself. Yes.
Oh wow. I wonder how old she was.
I don't know. That might be in my thing here, or could have been in them other ones that I've seen.
Right. All right. Let's see.
It's crazy how much you can learn if you just look up just the simple things like, things that you might have missed in a movie, or like behind the scenes. It's amazing what you can learn just about a movie just from searching that stuff.
Oh, thanks, Christina. And then she says, Darren is an overachiever.
No.
No.
Never.
But yeah, I mean, it was some leaps and bounds to make that movie. I know that. I did watch the prop culture one on it, and it was really good. Christopher Lloyd, I've always loved Christopher Lloyd as an actor who played Judge Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he he was Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
Yes.
Yeah. But one of the characters I really loved that he did was Jim Ignatowski from Taxi.
That was a good show.
Oh yeah. I loved Jim Ignatowski. It was I think my favorite scene from Taxi with him is when Jim is going to get his driver's license and he's having problems with the tests. And the group from Taxi, they're sitting over at another table, and he's like whispering to him. He goes, "What do you do at a yellow light?" And Bobby Wheeler goes, "Slow down." He goes, "What do you do?" And Bobby Wheeler again, "Slow down." Of course, he's like, "What?"
Christina don't have no room to talk about overachievers. She gets another assignment. She'll go right in there and start it, and she'll be like, "You're eating sunflower seeds for supper," because I'm drawing.
Sunflower seeds. So, what are some of the other things you have on Roger Rabbit?
Okay. The number one thing, I'll just go ahead and mention it. It was the most expensive movie ever made to date.
I bet.
At the time of its release on June 22nd, 1988, Who Framed Roger Rabbit boosted the highest budget of any film to date, a whopping $70 million. Nearly $150 million in today's dollars. It topped the previous record holder, which was Rambo the Third, which had come out less than a month earlier, by about $12 million. Roger Rabbit held the designation until July 1991.
Oh, wow.
Where'd that other part go? Because there's number 2, but it must have cut off when I printed it out. But anyway, number 2, the film also broke the record for the longest end credits,
Oh, wow.
recognizing a cast and crew of just over 800. Who Framed Roger Rabbit featured the longest closing credit reel ever upon its release. The film's credits ran over 10 minutes, even without attribution from Jessica Rabbit's voice actor, Kathleen Turner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then number 3, I already talked about it. All the parts that they had picked for Eddie Valent.
Right.
Number 4, Christopher Lloyd wasn't the filmmaker's first choice either.
Oh, wow.
Before landing on that guy's name, I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm even trying.
Zemeckis.
Yes. Back to the Future colleague Christopher Lloyd as the nefarious Judge Doom. Producers considered Tim Curry, who then deemed too scary, John Cleese, not scary enough, and Christopher Lee, who turned the role down, also in early
Christopher
contention.
Lee. Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee is in the prequels for Star Wars.
Oh,
Yeah, he plays Count Dooku.
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
It says also in early contention, Roddy McDowall, Eddie Denson, and you're not going to believe this one, and Sting were considered.
Oh, wow.
Number 5, Lloyd was more terrifying thanks to one simple trick. Prompted by a suggestion, Lloyd does not blink even once while on screen in the entire film.
Oh, wow. Now, I did, when I was watching that Prop Culture, the director was Spielberg, correct?
Yes, Steven Spielberg.
Every time that Judge Doom was on, and he had the glasses on, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had to have the light hit the glasses just right because he wanted the eyes of the glasses to be bright every time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Gives it that little effect.
Lou Hirsch did the voice of Baby Herman.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Lou Hirsch.
So I've never seen the guy before. I got looking at a picture, but here it is. Mae Questel was the one who did Betty Boop, and she looks like Betty Boop, which is weird. Yeah. And then let's see. It's Charles Fleischer who does Roger's voice.
Yep. And here's this fact, number 6, actually, since you're on to him. Charles Fleischer actually dressed up like Roger Rabbit when performing his lines.
Yes. They did show that on Prop Culture. They did show that.
Yep.
And they showed a lot of stuff they did. They actually had a stand-in Roger, and that they would put in there for, to get their eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they could, And there was actually showing where there was a part where Roger's on the bed and Eddie is talking to him, but Roger is too short to make eye contact. So the animator made him stand on his tiptoes.
And there's a fact that I have about that too, how a term came up in the Hollywood industry, and it's still the same term to this day.
What's that?
From that scene. It's called bumping the lamp.
Bumping the lamp?
Yep.
But
from that.
Yeah, I loved Bob Hoskins and almost everything he did, and he passed away too early. He did.
Yep.
Oh, Richard Williams did Droopy.
Droopy?
Oh, Droopy was one of my favorite characters when I was a kid. Yeah.
Who was I still can't even remember, even after watching it just a few days ago, who was the big guy, the cartoon character?
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about?
I think you're talking about the bouncer.
Yeah, the bouncer.
I think he was just a character they put in there.
He probably came from some other cartoon line that we don't know about.
I don't know.
We'd have to search it up.
I love that with Eddie. Ooga booga.
Yeah. So number 7 out of these 15, the dip is real.
Oh, wow.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit subverts the old maximum about cartoon characters never dying by introducing the one thing that proves fatal to the lot, a liquid concoction known as dip. This is actually a bit of science behind this plot device.
Oh,
The
wow.
ingredients of the dip are revealed to be turpentine, benzene, and acetone, which are
Right.
all paint thinners commonly used to erase animation cells. In other words, wipe out cartoon characters.
Right. Here's what's funny. I'm looking through the cast, right? Nancy Cartwright did a voice. It doesn't say who she did the voice for.
I have that answer because that's number 8. The film sent Bart Simpson to stardom.
Oh, really?
Did.
Was Bart? I didn't think Bart Simpson was in it, but
no, she did the voice. The character never speaks, but it squeaks and whimpers as the judge lowers it into a vat of dip. Yep.
The shoe, yes.
Those cries were the work of relatively known voice actor Nancy Cartwright, who would rise to fame 1 year later as the voice of Bart Simpson.
Right. Yes. So, and then we had Jim Cummings, of course. He did the voice of one of the bullets. You know, when Eddie pulls out the cartoon.
Those bullets were cool.
Oh, yeah. I actually found on Etsy one where they had the gun and actually had it laid down in a velvet case and everything like that. Do you know how much they wanted for that on Etsy?
I imagine it's probably about 4 digits or 5.
Not that high, no.
Okay.
Because Etsy, it's something that was made by somebody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it was like original from the movie, then probably like 4 or 5 digits. But
so they wanted $510.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't tell Gonzo.
Yeah. Well, they weren't pins, so I think that's all right. I'm looking through just to see if anybody else I see in the cast that I know. There it is. Bongo the Gorilla.
Okay, Bongo the Gorilla.
Yeah.
He has such a deep voice.
Oh, yeah. Morgan Deere. Morgan Deere. Let's see. I'm looking through, and I don't see anybody else I know from it. Now, what's funny is they've got 3 different people for Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah. Yep. Let me see. Where was that at? I thought I had that. I might not have.
Well, Kathleen Turner was she did the voice. I wonder if maybe they used somebody else for the singing voice.
Okay, here I found it. It's number 12 on my list.
Okay.
Jessica was inspired by some A-listers too. While Jessica Rabbit's principal inspiration was I can't pronounce that, heroine of Avery's famous short.
Heroine?
Yeah, heroine. Well, heroine, the word in front of it. Red Hot Riding Hood. She had a few human influences as well. Among them were Lauren Bacall, Rita Hayworth, and Veronica Lake.
Right. But yeah,
that's just who inspired that.
Right. On really here they have Kathleen Turner, Betsy Brantley, and Amy Irving.
Okay. Yeah, mine was different. I thought it was people that tried out or who they had in mind.
So, and here's the thing, what most people don't know was Hollywood Studios was actually the one part of it, and there's still remnants of it, was based on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Matter of fact, where Starbucks coffee is there at Hollywood Studios is where the cab company is.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. They actually had a place in the back that had to do with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and they had a cutout of Jessica Rabbit. Every time we'd see it, I made Margie take a picture of me with my arm around her.
Right. Well, On my list, number 9 talks about how the movie was made from a book from Gary Wolfe's 1981 novel, Who Censored Roger Rabbit.
Right.
But then let's see, number 10, Roger and Eddie had famous stand-ins for the test shoots. I don't know if you're going to know this, but you'll probably be like, wow. At various stages in the film's development, animators put together test reels for studio presentation.
Right.
An early go at the project employed the vocal talents of Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubin, yeah.
Yeah, better known as Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman, yep.
For a variation of Roger, sometime later, Richard Williams, who eventually became Who Framed Roger Rabbit's animation director, treated Walt Disney Pictures to a taste of his talents via a scene uniting a more... Man, it cut off again. It stopped me. For some reason, like the top of the next page is like the first inch of it's where the lettering is supposed to be, and it cut off. But anyway, I just thought that was cool right there. Pee Wee Herman. Who would have guessed?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think about it. He can do a lot of voices.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
It was a shame that he turned out the way he did, because I watched the heck out of that show when I was a kid, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what was it? What? Do you know where the Pee Wee Herman character came from before that?
That I do not know.
It was on a Cheech and Chong movie.
Really?
Yes. Pee Wee Herman was originally in a Cheech and Chong movie. Yes.
Well, I'll be daggone. Who would have thought that, actually?
Yeah, yeah. And then he played in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, not as Pee Wee Herman, of course, but his character in that was hilarious. I loved him. He was a vampire.
I didn't even know that either. Where in the world have I been?
Slayer, yeah.
And I've seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer more than a handful of times.
Who the guy actually just passed away who was in that.
He doesn't look like Pee Wee Herman in that movie.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't look like Pee Wee Herman. But who was the guy that just passed away? He was the father on Riverdale. It's not Jason Priestley, it's the other one from 90210, the original one.
Was it the blonde-headed guy?
Oh, Luke Perry.
Luke Perry.
Luke Perry, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was in that. And there's a scene in there where I think Paul Rubens' character as a villain, and he got his arm ripped off, or as a vampire, right? Says something to Luke Perry as, I can do anything you can do but better. And Luke Perry says, oh yeah? Clap.
I remember that.
Yes. And when every time he got hurt, he was like, ah!
Okay, now to Roger Rabbit himself, who's number 11 on the list. Do you, by chance, know how they came up with him and what he signifies, his different body parts?
No.
In designing Roger Rabbit, Williams wanted to incorporate elements from classic animation. He has expressed that Roger is meant to embody the production caliber of Disney, the character design of Warner Brothers from Looney Tunes, and the personality and sense of humor of animator Tex Avery. Furthermore, Roger's anatomy and attire can be broken up by studio influence. His face is meant to resemble a Looney Tune character, and his torso a Disney hero, while his overalls are a nod to Goofy, his gloves to Mickey Mouse, and his bow tie to Porky Pig.
Oh, wow.
And if you look at his hands, they do look a lot like Mickey's.
Yeah. A little longer.
Right.
But yeah.
Number 12, we already talked about that. Jessica was inspired by the A-listers.
Yeah.
13, the film spawned the industry term bumping the lamp.
Now, it was Kathleen Turner who wanted to make Jessica with the really big boobs.
Really?
Yeah, because she wanted her to be able to, like, there's that part where she squeezes up to Eddie Valent and they go boom.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And that was one of her ideas. She's like, we could do so much with that.
We talked about 13 already, that bumping the lamp. Okay,
Right.
14, the film features over 140 pre-existing animated characters.
Wow.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit is the only film to date to unite Disney mascot Mickey Mouse and Warner Brothers icon Bugs Bunny. The
Right.
pair shares a scene in the latter half of the movie, merely skydiving next to an airborne Bob Hoskins. In addition to Mickey, Disney showcased 81 distinct characters, as well as 14 groups of characters. For instance, Petuliar sprites from the short. Gosh, I'm butchering this all to heck. The Merry Dwarfs. In the movie, meanwhile, Bugs was one of 19 Warner Brother characters to get screen time. And then they also had from MGM, Paramount Pictures, Fleischer Studios, Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, King Features Syndicate, and Al Caps Cartoons all had characters make appearance as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy how they put so many different ones in there together like that.
Did you know on Warner Brothers, their characters, Bugs Bunny is not the oldest character?
I kind of have an idea that he's not.
Do you know who it
But
is?
who? It had to be black and white.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to guess. I'll probably kill it.
Porky Pig.
Oh.
And I even
yeah,
believe
we just seen that today.
I even believe Daffy is older than Bugs as well.
Yeah.
But
Well, 'cause I was
yeah.
watching that movie.
Now, wasn't it those two guys that created Warner Brothers? Didn't they? What we seen today, or what you watched today, work for Walt at one time or something?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, and how'd that go, babe? You're gonna have to tell me again so I don't mess it up. Something about they were in with Walt, and Walt was only getting paid $200 for something.
Well, you have to watch the movie.
Well, tell me how you said it.
These people that work for Warner Brothers, he kind of did drawings for them.
Walt did drawings for people that worked for Warner Brothers.
And they wanted him to sign away all his, pretty much just paid him $200 a month for all his drawings.
And they wanted to pay Walt $200 a month for all his drawings and sign this like contract kind
One
of
of the
deal.
guys that started with him is the one that came up with Bugs Bunny.
And the guy that started with Walt is the one that created kind of like Bugs Bunny and
Okay.
worked for Warner Brothers. So that's how it was. I didn't want to try to mess it up. She just told me that like 30 minutes before we came on here.
It's called Walt before, not Disney.
Yes. It was actually Walt before, wasn't it? Walt before the Mouse. I have seen that.
Walt before the Mouse.
Yes.
Mickey.
Before Mickey, yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought
I
that
have
was
seen that.
kind of
Yeah.
cool.
The guy that's in Napoleon Dynamite's in that. He plays Roy.
Yeah.
And I think it's the kid from American Pie
Yes.
who plays Walt.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I seen that. Yeah. And I know this. What was funny was Walt was the creative and Roy was the money.
Yeah.
And I know Walt went behind Roy's back a lot of times because he knew Roy wasn't going to give him the money that he needed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like with the Sleeping Beauty Castle there in Disneyland, the Golden Flake spires. Yeah, he had those put in while Roy was out of town. So.
Yeah. Now, who was it that his name went under to purchase the land there in Florida so they wouldn't jack the price up on him?
I don't think it was under a certain name. I think it was like under a company name, if I'm right.
Oh, okay.
So
I remember you talking about that at one time. And
yes. When they went to Orlando to find land, it's more closer to Kissimmee than what I think it is Orlando.
Yeah, it is. Because I remember going into Kissimmee a lot when we went down there. Because I think one of the hotels before we got down there before, I do remember this of all things. We got down there before we could check into a hotel, so we had to stay one night in Kissimmee, Florida. And it was like really close. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do know Florida quite a bit from driving truck down there all those years I drove semi, but
Right.
So on number 15 it says, with all that listed about Warner Brothers and all them other cartoon things, it says there were supposed to be many more cameos. Although, say his name, Chris, I can't pronounce it because I'm retarded.
Zemeckis.
Yes, and his crew managed to populate Who Framed Roger Rabbit with a vast array of recognizable characters. Their original ambitions were even more sweeping. Contractual issues and time constraints kept characters like Popeye, Chip and Dale, Pepe Le Pew, Mighty Mouse, Tom and Jerry, Pedro from Salados Amigos, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Witch Hazel, Heckle and Jekyll, several characters from Fantasia, and even Superman from the Final Cut.
Oh, wow. All right. So
that's like pretty much that time frame, like all the cartoon characters into one movie.
Right.
It seems like.
Right. Well, do you know the story about Oswald the Lucky Rabbit?
No, I don't.
So Oswald was one of Walt's breakout first characters. And due to the fact that he was doing work for another company, I believe it was Universal.
Mm.
A guy named Mintz, because Walt kept raising the price, right? He stole Walt's animators, and Walt did not own the rights to Oswald because Universal did. So he lost that character.
I think Christina was telling me something of that nature because it caused him to more or less go bankrupt, didn't it?
No.
It was in that movie.
Oh, she just said it was in that movie. In that movie she watched. But.
So Oswald hadn't been part of Disney for a long time. Universal hadn't used him ever after so long. And when Bob Iger became CEO, he promised the Disney family that he would get Oswald the Lucky Rabbit back. And it came down to, and I can't remember what football announcer for me on ESPN wanted to leave, and he wanted to go over to announce, I think it was for NBC, which is owned by Universal. And Bob Iger's got a hold of NBC or Universal and said, we will make a trade. We will get, and I meant this guy was like a good announcer. I don't know. I can't remember who it was. He said, we will trade you this announcer for the rights of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit back. Done. That was it. And Oswald was back. Yeah. So they actually, yeah. So no, it wasn't Harry Carey. It was football. But if you didn't hear Disney's plan to reopen for Walt Disney World, as of right now, the proposal plan for Magic Kingdom Park and Disney Animal Kingdom to begin a phase reopening to the general public on July 11th. And then Epcot and Disney Hollywood Studios would follow and reopen on July 15th. So that's what it's looking like. We're looking at another month before Disney actually opens back up. Well, obviously they've started because Disney Springs fully opened up today. So, but
how many people are they allowing at Disney Springs?
Disney. Well, see, I don't think because Disney Springs isn't something you have to pay to go into.
Uh-huh.
It's a shopping area. Oh,
okay, I get it.
So
I'm with you.
So I don't know if they can actually have that, but usually they have like live entertainment, and I doubt if anything like that's going on right now. But
I know here in Idaho, today started phase 3, which bars are now allowed to open.
Right.
And you're allowed to have gatherings of 10 to 50 people as long as you follow the precautions.
Right.
So that's what I mean by like people wise, like how many are they allowing? So they probably would just, like
Right.
Walmart does, they just have a counter and they just count people. And it's
Right.
funny too, because every time I go to Walmart, I always tell them in and out when I go in and out.
You
So
know,
what number am
our
I?
Walmarts haven't been doing that.
Really?
Yeah, they've just letting people in. Walmart, Lowe's, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So everything's back to normal here or over there in Greenville, Ohio, with the Walmart and Lowe's. So
well, that's good, because I was sitting there thinking today when I was at the gym, and I was watching the news on the TV when I was on the treadmill. You can't hear the TV, but you can see and read the subtitles at the bottom. But beaches are starting to become packed again.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what are they going to do? Arrest 100,000 people, put them all in jail?
Well,
and I mean, seriously, they need to think about this. And I know this COVID-19 stuff has become a touchy topic with people, just like politics and Christianity does.
Right.
But
right.
If you want to go out here and not wear a mask somewhere, that's all on you. But it's like this. I only see about 1, maybe 2% of the population even wearing a mask. But I think if they keep restricting people more and more much longer, I think some riots are going to start breaking out across the United States. It's sad, but I think it could happen eventually if they would keep restricting people down. I don't think
what you're saying is going to happen, because I think it's getting less frequent. I mean, I know in Ohio, I don't live in Ohio, but I know in Ohio that the governor there made it up to the person who was going in. But if the store owner says you have to wear a mask, you have to wear a mask to go into that store. But other stores like Walmart, that's up to the person going in. They've made it.
Yeah, I could understand that. But I mean, just to tell people, oh, well, you have to wear a mask outside. You have to do this, have to do that.
I don't think
you can't go to the beach. Yeah. It's just, it's crazy.
Right.
It's
I know.
really crazy.
I know. But yeah, so let's see, we're getting up there, so we got to talk about next week.
I had this idea that I thought might be cool at some point, and that's take like a Marvel character and morph it into a Disney character, like just the face.
Right.
But then I thought, man, that might be kind of hard. I might put my foot in my mouth over that.
That's going to be like an original drawing almost.
Yeah, and then I also thought about doing a ribbon with Disney on it or something, because I'm good at drawing ribbons, because we had to do those in art class. Right. The ribbons can get tricky, but I mean, I always get these weird ideas, and I'm like, that ain't so good. But if I ever drew a ribbon, I would put multiple Disney characters on it, but that would take a lot of time.
Oh yeah. I think we should stick to certain movies. So let me ask you, should we go from the golden age of Disney, the silver age of Disney, the Renaissance, or more of today?
You know what? Let's just start it for the next couple weeks and go kind of in order, like Renaissance, silver, gold, modern.
Well, Renaissance was in the 90s.
Well, however they go. I don't know how they go there.
So the Renaissance would have been like with the Little Mermaid, Aladdin, the Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. Pocahontas would have fell in there.
Okay, let's go modern and then work backwards, because we've done a lot of like those over the vlogs that we did when everyone's off, and then this. So
if we're gonna go modern, then I propose we do characters from Moana.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that movie yet. I need to watch it. Or
even better, how about this? Since you haven't seen it, and I've been wanting you to watch it, let's go with characters from. We'll do Moana another time. The Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove. Okay. Because Moana, I have action figures of The Rock, and I could like dress him up and paint him.
Has Christina seen The Emperor's New Groove?
Have you seen that? Emperor's New Groove.
I just watched that, but you didn't.
She said she just watched it, but I didn't. I was probably on Call of Duty or sleeping.
You need to watch it. You'll laugh. It's a really good movie.
Okay, I'll watch it. I promise.
Yeah. So yeah, I told you who the voice actors are in it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's David Spade, John Goodman, and Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
You know who that is, right? Patrick Warburton.
No, I'm stupid.
Do you remember the TV show called Rules of Engagement?
Yes.
Patrick
I do know
Warburton,
that show.
The big guy. You know,
Oh, okay.
hey, yeah.
I'm bad with names. I really am. When it comes to movies and who did this and who did that, like I can put the title to a face, but it's hard for me to put their actual name to them on a lot of them.
Christina, she's gone to Disneyland a lot, right? Right.
Because she's an overachiever.
Did they have Soren there when she went?
Did you hear him? What? How far behind is it? He asked. You've been to Disneyland a lot. Oh, her phone is behind our thing.
Oh, that's all right. Just ask her.
Okay.
Not that she knows of.
Because what I was wondering was because Soren at Epcot has Patrick Warburton as like the host, and
that's cool.
You know, yeah, so it's like when you're waiting to go in, they play a video, and it's Patrick Warburton, and he's telling you everything that's going to happen and everything like that. So they do a lot of that. What was neat, and I wish they would have left him in there, was Mission Space, right?
Yeah.
There at Epcot, it was Gary Sinise, and they changed it. You know who Gary Sinise is, right?
No.
Lieutenant Dan.
Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know who half these people's names are.
Yeah. Gary Sinise.
It's sad, too. Like, I don't know why my mind has just never contracted that information and kept it there.
So,
but
here's the thing. All right. Next week's topic, the Emperor's New Groove. It can be anything from drawings, anything art, anything craft related. And like I said, if you want to send something in, you don't have to follow topic. Anything Disney, we will put up. And where you need to send that, and let me bring that up for you, is right there down below. So,
oh, look at this fancy add-on you have here.
It's not an add-on, it's just part of the site. But so send your picture of arts or crafts to addifamilyadventure@gmail.com and have it in. I'd like it to be in Tuesday, the latest 4:00 Wednesday.
Yep.
But yeah, so the Emperor's New Groove. There's so many characters on there. I've already drawn one character from the Emperor's New Groove in that 30-day challenge we did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. In Heaven, she drew Yzma, the villain, when we did that too. Oh, wow, she did a really good job. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm really gonna have to think about it.
Yep. Me too. And I'm thinking, is Hobby Lobby open? Because I could get real creative. Good.
Well, was it you who said you went to Michael's, or was that somebody? No, that was a VP last night who said they went to get shadow boxes. Yes, for pens.
Because I am pretty creative, and it irritates me because people be like, do you know who this and who that? Like, no. But like cartoon characters, I might not know who plays their part or their voices, or if Disney owns them or if they don't.
Right.
But I do know quite a bit because I've always been pretty decent at drawing cartoons, and I used to draw a lot of them in art class.
Right.
And that's how I knew the colors of a lot of those that you were talking about, because I do know my cartoons a bit because I'm still a kid. But no, like if we had a wrestling trivia, I probably wouldn't fail that much. I would fail a few things, but not that much, because I don't know. I guess I just never watched movies enough to retrain to restrain that information in my brain of who plays who and
Right.
recognizing the voice and other stuff. But it's because I never watched a lot of TV. I never did.
I would like to see who has the better wrestling knowledge, you or my brother Joey.
Andre the Giant.
Andre the
Giant. Joey does know a boatload of wrestling.
Yeah. You can name a match, and Joey can tell you what pay-per-view it was.
I know.
What year and everything like that.
He would school me on that. That I'll agree with. Yep. And I tell you what, and I became knowledgeable with that stuff back when I was younger, before social media ever existed.
Right.
But now that there's social media, I mean, you can learn a lot about, a wrestler or even Hollywood stars, a lot more now than you could. But
right.
Yeah, Joey, I remember that too, because one time when I was over at your house when he was there, you were testing him with that stuff and he could name it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, and I thought I knew wrestling.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Yeah.
But
it seemed like your cousin Seth does too, that lives out in Washington.
Oh, Seth. Yeah, Seth loves wrestling. Yeah.
Yep.
Seth is way younger than me. So he's actually younger than Joey.
Oh wow.
And we used to back then, the only way you could watch the events was through pay-per-view. And my grandma had a satellite. So we would all go out there and we would all divvy up, break it up what the cost was and how much everybody owed.
Yeah, that's what me and my buddies did in high school when we'd watch pay-per-views. Yeah.
And we was always told to lay the money on the fireplace. And then we would sit there and watch it. And there was a few times where my cousin Tanya asked if Seth could come over and watch with us. And yeah, he was really small. And and because, I was pretty young back then. I was probably in my early 20s, but I had Joey and his friends, and we got kind of rowdy every once. I remember shoving one kid's head down into the couch, just messing around.
But like that, me and my friends used to do that too. And I can remember back then too, Chris, when pay-per-views back then were only like $30 maybe, because it never cost us very much. But I can remember in 1986, WrestleMania 3, Mom and Dad going up to the cable company and getting this big brown box that we had to hook to the TV to watch it.
Oh, wow.
I can remember that. And then Dad got mad at me because I got interested. That was the first time I ever really watched wrestling, was in 86. And Dad got mad because I had this old plastic fire engine.
Right.
And when Hogan and Andre started wrestling, I just thought it was the coolest thing because you had this huge man fighting this guy that reminded me of Hercules. And my fire truck ladder was leaning up against our heating stove. The ladder was melted into a ball, and you could smell it burning. He's like, "Oh, you're going to burn the house down." I'm like, "Well, sorry, watching wrestling." But we should do a Disney death match sometime.
Disney death match.
A Disney character versus a WWE character. Not just kidding.
All right, so you got your homework. You gotta watch The Emperor's New Groove.
Yep.
I'm sure Christina's already at the kitchen table.
She's on her way, yes. And I'll come up, and after I watch that movie, I'll come up with, I don't know, maybe 10 facts or something about it. People probably don't know.
New Groove.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing that, because with how I'm working,
right.
It's hard for me to do that. I really appreciate that.
I have nothing else to do since I've been laid off, man. I have sat here and probably have, I don't know, 2,418.644 hours in gaming since I've been laid off.
Well, if it makes you
feel
good.
I mean, like, that's how I've always been. Like, I've either played video games or watched wrestling. I never did get into a whole lot of movies until kind of actually when I started driving truck. I started watching a little bit more, because I'd be pulled over, bored out of my mind. And then I got into all the Marvel when they started making all these movies, because I was a huge comic book collector when I was a kid. loved comic books. And then when I started making movies after comic books, I'm like, oh yeah, I like this stuff.
Right.
And it was funny too, because you sat right there and gave me a lecture of which Star Wars to watch and how to watch them in order. And then we get on the plane to come back here and I see one. I'm like, I have to watch it to see if I like it. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Since you basically know what happens, right?
Yeah.
You know who Luke's father is.
Right.
So there's no reason to watch it in the order I actually told you. You could watch it 1 through 9 and be fine.
Okay. I'm going to take your word for it.
Except for what I would do is watch. Here's what you want to do. You want to watch 1, 2, and 3.
Hey, now that I have a pen, 1, 2, and 3.
Right. Then watch Solo.
Wouldn't that be 1 Solo?
No.
Okay.
Then watch Rogue One.
All right.
Then watch 4, 5, and 6. And then 7, 8, 9.
Why couldn't you just said watch 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
I don't know.
But Christina and I now have a family, or well, we have a game on here now that you need to get in with us on PlayStation 4, Monopoly.
What? Monopoly? Is it free?
Yeah. No. But it's cheap. It's not expensive. Chris, is it free? No. But anyway, yeah.
I didn't know. I thought maybe it came up as free. They got all those free games on there.
Well, like I said, a million times over, I'm a gamer and a wrestling fanatic. She's actually got me to watch more TV in the last year and a half that I've been here than I ever have. But I've always watched the first 48. I love that show. And I can tell you them people's names, all them detectives. And because I'm personally friends with them on Facebook and stuff. They know me because I'm on there. They accepted my friend request. But anyway, we're like 418 hours away from getting our doctorate degree in detective work just from watching that show.
All right. So we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right. So next week's topic, Emperor's New Groove. Once again, if you don't want to do anything for Emperor's New Groove, that is fine. Send it in. You send it in down below at afamilyadventure@gmail.com. And like I said, try to have it in Tuesday, 4:00 p.m. Wednesday Eastern time.
Even if you just want to make a building from a movie, like a house or something, go to Hobby Lobby or Walmart craft section, get some popsicle sticks, some toothpicks, some glue.
Yeah.
Some Play-Doh.
Awesome. But so as for that, make sure you give me a thumbs up if you're watching this in the replay. Leave a comment. If you just found our channel and you like the content, please hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you know when we post a video or when we go live. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this week.
You can even go buy Legos and put them together as something.
Lego kits don't count. You can't do a Lego kit that's a Disney. It has to be an original. All right. So I think that's going to be it, Darren. So
okay, buddy.
I hope to see you next week at Disney Fan Art with Chris. And we'll see you later.
Auf Wiedersehen. Bye.